What is up, my friends? Welcome to you, welcome to me, welcome to everyone. It is that time again for a J-Live Fit Open Chat podcast. Open Chat simply means we talk about everything and anything, not just fitness, whatever's interesting, whatever makes you laugh, whatever's news, whatever we want to chat about. You might hear some birds in the background today, some dogs, whatever. I'm sitting outside and I just thought, come to my mind, and I want to remind people of this. I've talked about it before, but it's something I think that people need to be reminded of, and it's good to just refresh people, because I still see it happening a lot. And this is what I would call, when you're chasing weight loss, let's say, but resistance versus cardio. So weightlifting versus cardio to lose weight. What is better? What is more effective? Now look, it's subjective. Absolutely. It's personal. It's what people enjoy. But there is a lot of science behind what's more effective, what has better roll-on effect or snowball effect. Other things gather from it and you gain more benefits. But again, it comes down to personal choice. So I just want to remind you of a few things that might be of interest to you and sway you to jump on the other side of the fence and give the other one a go, of one you're not doing, or to mix it up. So look, it really depends on which one you use. Also depends on the time you have to do it. And the reason I say that is generally doing cardio, or steady state, they call it, takes a lot longer. So that'd be one reason that people maybe won't do the cardio side of it, because they don't have that time, and that's probably me. I used to go down that route, but you're looking at, let's say, doing an hour of steady state cardio, which is like walking at a mid-range heart rate and just burning off calories that way. First thing is, what I've told you before, is what your tracker, whatever you wear, tells you burn. You can probably take 30% off that. Now that's a guess, but they're not completely accurate. So don't think when you say it says you burn 1,000 calories walking in an hour, that's not true. You do not burn 1,000 calories walking for 1 hour. I know it because I'll wear different trackers, watches, and a ring, the Oura ring, and I'll do an intense hour, hard boxing, kettlebells, running, everything, and I'm not burning 1,000. So if you think you're walking and burning 1,000, you're sadly mistaken. So don't believe that too much. But another point is with cardio is it's boring. Well, okay, if you want to walk and you want to listen to a podcast and read, maybe not as boring, but in general, let's face it, it's pretty boring to walk on a treadmill or sit on an exercise bike and just burn monotonous, mind-numbing calories off. It's not the way I like to do it, but I still see a lot of people do it. And like I said, it's very time-consuming. What you can burn in, let's just say 20 minutes in cardio, you could probably do in half the time doing resistance training. Now, when I say that is, if you look at your watch at the end, it might say it's the same, but the long term, how long you keep burning calories for doing resistance training, that's the difference. So when you get off a treadmill, for argument's sake, you burn some energy afterwards, absolutely. But it's a lot less stress on your body. When I say stress, I mean healthy stress. So your body stops burning the energy a lot quicker than it would by doing resistance training, because it's a lot harder work. It's a lot more healthy stress on your body, and your body takes longer to recover. And recovery is done through, obviously, resting, but also burning energy, burning fat. Your body recovers and burns a lot more. So I don't have an exact number for you, but it's pretty much agreed that you will burn calories longer by doing resistance training than you will walking or riding a bike slowly or something like that. So that is pretty much agreed upon. Some people may disagree, listen to this, but the science would support that it's true that you burn more for longer after resistance training. The one thing I want to talk to you about as well is that it has very little other benefit doing straight cardio. Look, it's great for your mind, and some people love it. They'll read a book, and there's benefits. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's definitely beneficial. It's better than doing nothing. Absolutely. So don't stop doing it. If that's what you love and you don't want to resistance train, keep doing the cardio. Power to you. But I'm just saying that it doesn't have the other benefits like resistance training has, which is obviously growing muscle, but strengthening your whole body through your ligaments and your joints, just all your skeleton, the skeletal benefits you get from doing resistance training and creating healthy stress, which helps your bone density, doing lifting, doing jumping, doing curls, doing whatever you do. There is a thing called healthy stress. So the more you stress your body in a healthy way, the more it has to adapt and grow and become stronger. And that's what it does when you're resting from doing resistance training. But if you're walking on a treadmill, that's very little stress. It burns calories, but when you get off, it doesn't give you the other benefit because that's something you do every day. So if you're not doing something slightly above what you do every day, your body has no reason to change. It'll lose weight, but you're not going to put on muscle. So you'll see, a classic one is you'll see someone who's quite overweight who'll lose weight on a treadmill, and they'll lose weight, fine, but they're still very soft looking and loose skin and all that sort of stuff because they're not creating muscle. They're just burning body fat. So you're not getting rid of one and building up the other. And that's what you do when you do resistance training. You burn one and you build up the other. So one goes down, one goes up. And the one that goes up is the better one, the muscle. And you want muscle. You need it. Don't be scared of it. Too many ladies I hear particularly are still scared of muscle, as in they don't want to put it on. They don't want to do resistance training. We're going to get big and muscly. You're not going to get big and muscly. It's very hard to do. You have to live very heavy, train very consistently, eat the right food and do it. It's not easy to put on muscle like you think it is. When I hear people say, I'm going to put on 5 kilos of muscle, good luck with that. 5 kilos, there's the dog. When you say you're going to put on 5 kilos of muscle, it's not easy to do, okay? So don't be too nervous of that. I promise you it's not going to happen. My apologies for the dog, but I'm not going to stop and I'll talk through this dog. We have a dog next door and it's constantly barking. But anyway, let's keep going. So, we've said the time consuming, we've said it's boring. The after effects are really, really important. The bone density is true. Now, it's easy to consume the calories again, what you burn, if you're doing it through cardio, because you're burning a lot less than I say. So let's say it says you burn 1,000, and let's for argument's sake, say it's 500. It's very, very easy to eat 500 calories in a meal. So you're going to put that back on very, very quickly. When you're doing resistance training, your body... Now, I don't know if there's an exact number, but I have read and listened and lots of articles on it talking about how long calories burn, energy burns, let's call it energy. Energy burns after resistance training, and they say for 24, 48 hours, the benefits keep rolling, especially if you do it with pretty high intensity and work hard. So what the benefit from that is, if you're eating the energy again, the good energy, good calories, but your body's still burning it, they sort of cancel each other out to a degree, if that makes sense, because you're still burning. But if you're doing just cardio and it burns for, this argument's sake, let's give it 5 hours. It burns for 5 hours later. But then you eat, that window of burning stopped, and you eat and you can put it on. I'm sure that makes a sort of mental picture for you. Thinking about resistance training, one keeps burning and the calories go up, so they cancel, okay? And the other stops burning and the other one goes up. So in other words, one's going down and one's going up, and then you can put the weight back on. Now, that's not always the case. If you're tracking your calories and doing everything right, I'm sure you can do straight cardio, eat and not put on weight. Absolutely. I'm not saying that doesn't work. But very few people are aware of exactly what's going in their body. They think they are. There's estimates of people saying they think they burn, they eat, let's say, 1,800 calories a day. They're not tracking. They're probably eating 2,500. That's an easy number to say because people don't understand their calories in food sometimes. A lot of people have an image that if it's a small portion, it means less calories. That's a classic example. So if you have a plate full of food and it's all good, healthy calories, a lot of people see that plate and think that's lots of calories, but that essentially could be less than a plate of really bad food that's quarter full because it's just calorie-dense, bad calories. You want calorie-dense food, but you want it to be good calories, good fuel. Let's think of it like a car. The worse fuel you put in your car, the worse it runs. It'll run, it'll go, but eventually things can go wrong. The engine can go bad and part need replacing because you're putting bad fuel in the car. That's an analogy to think about your body. You'll get away with it. You'll put bad fuel in, bad energy. For a while, you'll get away with it. But eventually, you'll look down at your hips or something and you'll realise, well, those bad calories are catching up to me. So that's probably a mental image you can have for yourself, good and bad calories, good and bad fuel. Same sort of idea with car and food. That'd be a good one to sort of keep in your mind when you're putting food in your body. So understanding that. The other benefit from resistance training is the coordination that you're getting for your body. Learning how to move well, the proprioception, awareness of your body and time and space and balance, the skill building that you're getting out of it. So you've got the bone density, you've got coordination, you've got the skill, and you've got all the benefits and the growth. It's also interesting. You're doing different things rather than going, okay, here goes a treadmill. Look, a lot of people will last for, let's say a couple of weeks. They'll go hardcore with cardio because they're new to it, it's exciting. But eventually this will catch up to you and you will get tired of doing the walking on the treadmill. Here we go again. But if you go to the gym and you think it's different every day and you don't know what you're doing that day, or even if you do, but you know each day is different, it's more interesting. Sure, it can still become monotonous, absolutely. But you can mix it up a lot more than you can by walking on a treadmill or riding on a bike or doing something like that. So if you are going to stick to your cardio, mix it up. Let's say you're going to do an hour cardio, steady state. Do 20 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes on the bike, then go to the ski erg, then get on the rower, just to keep it interesting. If that is your thing, try and keep it interesting to have a better chance of keeping to it. And don't believe the old myth of you have to exercise in this range heart rate to burn more calories or this range burns less. That's not true. The harder you work, the more you burn. That's a fact. What they are saying in a roundabout way is if you exercise really hard, you can only maintain that for so long. So you're probably going to burn less because you're going to become exhausted. So let's say you think you're going to burn calories by running on the treadmill. Unless you are a runner and comfortable with that, how long can you actually run for? Most people, honestly, 5 minutes and they're done. So that would be your session and you're not going to burn many calories. But if you do steady state, which is walking at say 65, 70% your maximum heart rate, you can do that for an hour. You can do that for 2 hours. But I don't know about you, I don't have an hour or 2 hours to walk on a treadmill. I don't do it anymore. I used to do it, as in a lot more steady state, but it's really not my thing now. I'm very diverse in how I train. I actually pretty much never do steady state now. My training is all done through kettlebells, resistance work, boxing, animal flow, things like that. I don't even focus on needing to do steady state. I write it into people's programs more for a rest, more for if it's the day off from doing weights, I go, let's go for a walk for 20 minutes. But it's not about going, I want you to burn body fat. It's purely just as an active recovery, getting outside, getting some sun. It's not about going, I need you to burn this many calories. That's not why I do it for. There's a different reason why I get people to do steady state. It's more about just, like I said, activity, keeping the body moving as their day off. And it's only 20 minutes, maybe 30. And I try to encourage people to get outside and do it out there because it's a lot more interesting in walking on a treadmill. Now, a couple of myths that I want to cover regarding resistance training. The classic myth is, I'm going to get huge, coach. This generally comes from ladies because men don't care as much about putting on muscle. But a lot of ladies still think, I'm going to get big and muscly if I lift a dumbbell. Ladies, I said it at the start of the podcast, you're not going to. It's very hard to get big and muscly. Trust me on this one, okay? Just keep training. And look, the good thing about that, even if you do put on muscle, it's easy to cancel it and stop. So let's say you get to a certain size and you don't want to get any bigger. Well, guess what? You don't go any heavier. You might even increase the rep range of what you're doing, which will base more on the endurance side of things rather than hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is generally agreed from anywhere between 8 to 12 reps. And above that, if you're going 15 to 20 and above, you get into more the endurance side of things. So you're not going to put on as much muscle doing that. So that's an easy change. If you do get the stage where you go, okay, I don't want to get any bigger, you might change your block of what you're doing and go towards more the endurance side just to maintain. And then if you notice you get too small, you go back to the hypertrophy, which is lower reps, heavier weight. You can always mix it up and go back and forth between the two and you'll be fine. Another myth is doing resistance training, and I've had people do this, they've walked out and gone, I'm not sweating, so I'm not working. This is not true at all because I know for a fact there's people who sweat very little and they're working hard, and there's others that sweat more than you've ever seen and they're barely working. So that's not an indication of the results you're going to get in your training by how much you sweat. It's purely just how you're built. Some people sweat a lot, some people don't. Could be the climate, could be where you're from, could be anything. So do not take this as a guide to how well you are training and the result you're going to get. So I'm hoping that people that don't do resistance training, there go the dogs again, that don't do resistance training, add some more in their sessions. Let's say you want to do cardio still. That's fine, do it. Instead of doing an hour of cardio, drop it to 20 minutes and then increase with the resistance side of it. Because the fact is, when you get older, your bones need strength. And to have your bones to be strong, they need to be dense. And that density can be created through weight training, resistance work. That is science. That is fact. You're not going to get that by just walking on a treadmill. You need to give your body some healthy stress to encourage it to be strong and grow and have a strong frame. So please, I encourage everyone out there, and again, particularly the ladies who are a bit scared of it, don't be scared of resistance training. Add it back into your training. I promise you'll get results. And you don't have to end with an hour of cardio then. You can just go into the gym and go 45 minutes to an hour doing resistance work. You might end with a 10-minute jog, a 5-minute jog. Keep doing it by all means. But let's stop focusing on losing weight by walking on a treadmill or riding on a bike. Unless that's your thing, you particularly love it, keep doing it. But even then, I need you to add resistance training in, not for the weight loss, but for, like I said, the bone density, ligament strength, muscle growth, all of those good things, coordination, skill. There is a fact that you need to have that in your training. Do not neglect it. It is very, very important that you keep resistance training into your training to get all the benefits. And then, like I've said earlier, you then don't have to have that extra focus of going, oh, I've got to do an hour of whatever cardio you want to do at the end of a 45-minute or hour weight session. That just drags out to become a long time for training, and eventually a lot of people burn out from it and can't maintain it. So I'm hoping these few tips and pointers guide you towards resistance training, to not be scared of it. By all means, keep doing your steady state and cardio. If you want to walk at the end, we've got the birds now. For those who haven't been to Australia, they are kookaburras, and they're pretty regular around here where we live. Very Australian sound, that one. It's quite a nice sound in the background of a podcast. We had dogs, we had kookaburras, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, like I've said, just to refresh and remind you, do not be scared of it. You are going to get a lot more benefit from it. Don't be obsessed with looking at even how many calories you burn. It's not an important factor to maintain, because if you're eating correct and you know what you should be eating, let's say you're on 2,000 calories a day and you know you're having that or close to it, you're okay. You don't need to be doing the steady state unless it's something you love to do. But I would rather you change that steady state into some maybe interval training. So instead of walking for 40 minutes on a treadmill, turn that into 5 300-metre jogs. Do 300 metres, walk back 300 metres while your heart rate goes down, and then run 300 again. Add a bit more intensity to it. You're still going to get benefit that you want, plus more benefit from it. So give this a go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope it helps you out. And as a reminder for you to do, it is something that you will enjoy, I promise you. If you have any questions about it, please message me. You can find me on Instagram at JLifeFit or JLifeFit podcast. So I'm on 2 channels. I've got more than 2, but JLifeFit or JLifeFit podcast. Answer any questions for you, help you out. If you're interested in any programs, I have many a program that I put people through on an application where you'll get the workout, you'll get videos for all the exercises you're doing. So they're very informative. They're not just written down, do this many exercises. It's the repetition. It's me doing it, showing you and demonstrating to help you through it. If you're interested in any training, any other questions, if you've got any ideas or podcasts you want me to chat about, send me a message on Instagram, find me there, and I would love to have a chat. And again, I've reminded people of this before, but I'm always looking to talk to people, and I can do this through the application. We can do it remote, so we can be in different towns and I can chat to people, or we can get together, whatever you want. That'd be awesome. I would love to have a chat with anyone about any topics. Teach me some things, I'll teach you some things, we can share information. So thanks again. I hope everyone enjoyed that one. It was a nice little reminder. And like I said, resistance versus cardio, which is better? It's subjective, but the general agreement is resistance. You're going to get more benefits. Hope this helped, guys and girls. And thanks for listening. Please share, subscribe, wherever you're watching, whatever you're doing. I do really appreciate it, so I can keep bringing these to you and keep teaching you and sharing my knowledge, motivated, educated. Who knows, I might even make you have a laugh one day. Thanks a lot. See ya.